Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident.
Warning: the following program contains explicit language and mature content. It is not meant for the easily offended. So if you are an emotional pussy, please refrain from listening. Thank you and enjoy.
All right.
Welcome back. Another edition of the Buzz Podcast. Your boy Cujo, my man Jules.
Yep.
Back for another day under the sun or night under the stars,
Well, at
depending
least
where you
it's not
see
windy.
us. At least, right? That's been
Yeah.
wind has been hellish the last 2 weeks.
So it's supposed to be picking up again, right?
No, hell no.
Oh,
I hope
man.
not.
Well,
I hope
fucking,
not.
I'm used to it.
It is April. You never know what's gonna happen. You'll go from wind to rain to snow. You get like every season.
It's the worst
In
2
like,
months.
Yeah. You get every season in like 3
bipolar
days.
weather.
Yeah, it's worse than
Can't
my
keep
old
your car
lady.
clean.
No. Can't keep my front yard clean, man.
Well, that's the excuse I use all year. I don't keep my car clean.
Yeah, it's 'cause I don't know what's gonna rain, right?
It's just fucking hot out here.
This week we're blessed to have a guest. He's a director. The name of Marco Antonio Olvera. Marco is going to be the director of a new series that's going to be dropping. It's called Sunland Series. Marco, first and foremost, appreciate you making the journey through from where you were to where you are right here today.
No, thank you for having me, guys.
Hey, anytime, man. Anything we can do to help, anything we can do to raise awareness, that's what we're here for. The show, Sunland Series, what is it about? Talk to me about Sunland Series.
So, Sunland is basically the story of Sunland as it's happening right now. You know, like if you're not familiar with Sunland, Sunland sits across, obviously, 2 counties, Texas, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's almost like this no man's land, you know. I work at a food pantry, and the summer of 23, I got to go out into the community and meet some of the residents. Some communities that don't even have roads, and they were giving me feedback. You know, I wanted to know, what are the complaints out here. I mean, you guys are so close to the border. What do you guys have to say? And they were like, oh, it's a movie out here. You should come and
See Old West.
see really how it's happening, you know. And one of the things that caught my attention was like they're letting me know like it's kind of like a exercise here around 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. You know, you see helicopters, ATVs, horses, you know, trucks, and of course this is like the Border Patrol immigration going out there and trying to get the migrants coming over or whatever, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I heard that there was a neighbor who couldn't make it because I was out giving produce, and this neighbor couldn't make it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, she couldn't make it because her dog killed somebody." And I was like, "What?"
Her
A dog kills.
Her dog, like a migrant, had jumped into her yard, and he didn't see the signs, beware of dog, and so the dog mauled the guy to death.
They have to fuck around and find out.
Right. What kind of dog was this?
Damn.
I have no idea. It was a guard dog, you know. So like, if this migrant
Them
jumped
chihuahuas,
over,
man.
Oh, crazy motherfucker.
It might have been, you know. But stories like that, like really, like is what, was like, whoa, okay, like.
So you say dogs, and my dog's going fucking ape shit now.
It's just going
You
crazy.
fucking got him.
Right on
He's
cue.
He's standing up for him and shit.
Yeah, so stories like that, I was like, okay, well, man, it's crazy. Like, for one, there's not a story being told about this. Nobody's talking about this. This is just happening here in the community, you know. And I was like, well, how can we let them know? And I was like, well, might as well just make it a movie. And at first, it started as a movie, but I was like, nah. I heard 50 Cent say that actors make movies, but series make actors. Yeah. So that I was like, okay, like I'll just turn it into a series because there's more.
It's too much. It'll be too long.
It's too much to compact into
into a movie. So
unless it was a Godfather trilogy or some shit.
That's like way too crazy. You know, I just wanted something simple out that at least lets people know what's going on out here. And so the story revolves around Santiago, and Santiago is this regular average American citizen. What I wanted to do was like a Breaking Bad, but instead of the drugs, it was like humans.
Dope.
Where is that American citizen out there that like by daylight he's living this regular life, but behind closed doors he's going through financial struggles. Maybe he's gotten some family situation going on and he's pressed for money.
Right.
It's the Breaking Bad story all over again, but
Yeah.
this time it's dealing with humans. It's dealing with human trafficking and the stuff that's really happening. I mean, we see it on FitFam all the time. Like the chases are going crazy. Like,
we live it here.
the one time that that one chase that ended up on the highway and the guy jumped and he didn't know that it was like
he died,
he was on the spaghetti bowl or whatever. So
Really, I missed that one.
Yeah, he jumped down because he thought there was like a ditch right there, but it was like a 50-foot fall, and he just splat.
Yeah, there was a ditch, but way the fuck down.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy stories like that like they only make the Instagram feed and we all like it and heart it and stuff, but there's not one person trying to tell the story. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make people care. Like, people are not going to care unless they care for a character.
Right.
Why is this character getting into this? I mean, people love Walter White and they love him.
Yeah.
In New Mexico.
It made sense why he did it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like
He's an anti-hero.
yeah, exactly.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And so I was like, let me just work on that.
Is it like some scenarios based on true events or?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
But for the most part,
Names changed.
Names changed for the sake of people.
but yeah, just going out there to the community, like getting to hear people really talk about, hey, this is what's happening, or so and so this happened, or I knew somebody from Hatch, which is the next town over, going towards Las Cruces, and
Sparky's.
Sparky's.
Yeah.
People tell me all the time, yo, they get to see, they got a border patrol station there, and they get to see, the other day there was a truck and they unloaded it. It had a bunch of people in it, and it's like, whoa, like, did that happen? On a regular Thursday, nobody talks about it, doesn't ever make the news, like,
Right.
but those things are
Just
happening.
happens all the time.
Yeah.
No, they only talk about it during the election time when it's time to, we got to stop this, we got to stop that. Then when after that, it's done.
And it's funny.
They don't talk no
It's
more.
funny that you say that, because a lot of residents in Sunland and Anapra and that little community there, that's how they feel. They feel like they're only here.
It's a talking point.
Yeah, it's a talking point.
Because the ones that are crazy about it are the people from like Rhode Island and New Hampshire. Like, you have no idea what the fuck is going on.
They clean it up every 4 years.
Yeah, according to them, and they're like fucking thousands of miles away.
We have the
but-
Olympics coming in. Clean them up. Hide them.
So, are you a local resident from here, or are you an out of towner?
So I was born in Mexicali, Baja California, which is right underneath California and Mexico. And then we moved over to Juarez, lived the crazy life in Juarez.
Yeah.
Left our dad because he was a drug addict. Then moved to here in the summer of 2001 before the Twin Towers, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So before then, people were just really just going to and coming back from El Paso and Juarez, and people travel and work and on both sides. So before then, what I hear is like, it was just like whatever, just but now it's after 9/11. That's when it got tight, So luckily we made it here before then, and worked on getting my citizenship, and then of course I got my citizenship when I was 21. And then after 21, that's when I was like, okay, like now I need to, as they say, become a contributing member of society. And I really took that like to heart, like started to travel for the videography and stuff like that. But, now I consider myself more of a philanthropist than anything because of my 5 works.
Well, you saw both sides of the border then. I mean, Juarez and El Paso.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like the idea is like, man, like we're going to be able to see somebody that has that urge, that desire to like, man, wouldn't it be awesome to just be over there?
Yeah.
You know, that desire of what it's like to just want to be somewhere, you know, and also that desire of like, man, I really need this money.
Right.
And so you're going to see crazy characters, this character is going to run into, first of all, I'm a firm believer in our law enforcement.
Okay.
I got a family now, you know what I mean? Don't pull me over. I got a family, so like for example, today I was taking photos for the U.S. Attorney's Office, State of New Mexico, Law Enforcement Awards 2025. Okay. I didn't even know they gave awards to like.
That's a mouthful.
Right. Like, I wanted to bring the program, but I forgot it. But it's crazy. Like they were giving awards to like law enforcement, DA agents, FBI's, like border patrols, everybody that's been able to tackle a case and narrow it down and make the community safer. Like this guy. They awarded him for being able to track for months and months and months this guy that was basically prostituting his 10-year-old daughter here in the border. Oh, and they were able to find him, and I think from what I heard, he got some pretty lengthy time, but it's things like that you just like
the craziness you hear, just the dark.
Yeah.
The dark part of it.
Is that? So I mean, I'm sure like you've heard both sides, right? Of course, like you said, when you're doing this stuff for the law enforcement, awards and stuff like that, and when talking to people, then seeing it firsthand, on the other side of the border. Does it ever make you numb to like things that are going on? Because, like, from what you've seen on TV, right? It's hard. It's hard for me to get the understanding, like, why would you do certain things? Like you said, you have a family. It's like, why would you risk, doing A, B, or C to lose all of that? And it's like, it looks like people are completely numb to the idea now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did that affect you also?
I try not to let it affect me. I mean, because I'm trying to see this from a broader perspective, because if I'm just trying to show what it is, like what it's happening, because
the good, the bad, the ugly, just
exactly what it is, and
no agenda, just what it is.
Yeah, what it is. So it's like,
is that hard to write something like this without an actual agenda? Because it's always easier to favor one side and push it that way.
Yeah, of course.
As opposed to just writing down the middle.
Yeah. No, for example, like
your feelings
in this series, episode 1, you're gonna root for the detective that at the very end is watching this guy. Okay. And he's watching him because he got in contact with this guy, and he didn't know that this guy was being watched. But now and so if you're in favor of the law, in favor of rules, in favor of boundaries, in favor of the border policies, you're gonna have a character to root for.
Right.
But if you're on the other side, if you're trying to get that win, if you've ever been pressed for money, if you've been down on the worst of the worst, I'm talking like, the worst imaginable life situations, you're gonna have a character to root for. Yeah. That you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna root for that guy. Kind of like a Walter White, like you cared. Why? Because he was a dad. Yeah. He had a son that was disabled.
You knew the background story.
Exactly.
You didn't just see, okay, this dude was making meth. That's all you see.
Exactly. Right. And so every character has a background story, and you care about them. Like everybody loved Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he was technically the one after Walter White, and you care about Walter White. You know what I mean? And so that's why I was like, that's really life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see yourself liking people. I mean, you've seen detectives talk about it all the time. It's like, man, I was talking to a straight murderer, and the whole time I was undercover, and other than the part that he had killed or whatever,
he was a cool guy.
He was a super cool, likable guy. You know what I mean? And that's
his job.
That's really how people are, and that's the scary part, because you never know what people are up to.
Right.
I mean, just driving over here, I mean, we saw like the Pebble Hills teacher that just got caught up or whatever. I don't know if you guys saw that or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's right?
Yeah.
The sex slave one, or was that one?
I don't know. He was
there was
like,
this other one.
Several
he was
different
like,
of them,
dude, there's like a couple of things going on right now, like as far as teachers.
It's a bad time right now.
It's
so.
scary, dude. That's a whole other story. That's
that's
a whole other program.
Man, I don't know. Man, I got little girls. Fuck, I'll fuck them up.
Well, my son goes to fucking Pebble Hill, so I was like, damn, man.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so it hits even closer to home.
Man, oh, God.
Yeah. So how did you get into the whole directing, videography? What caught your attention to that?
Back when I didn't have a citizenship, I was like, man, I was already thinking, well, I'm never going to get a job. Like, I don't have this. I don't have a car. I was just down on my luck bad. Like, I was just doing terrible. Like, just everybody in my life around me had jobs, girlfriends, were traveling, going to college, doing the thing, doing the life thing. And I was like, man, I'm living in the shadows.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I had going on for me was like the high school camera thing. So I said, let me stick to this, and I just stuck with it until like before graduation, like I was paying for like school trips and stuff like that because I would go out and find clients to shoot stuff for, and
Freelance.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so by the time you graduate, you kind of already have some clients, and then I just kept working on it,
Right.
And so, I mean, it's been 13 years later now, so it's like that's when film's always been my passions, of course, So it's like we all love movies, we have our own classics that we all love, and so I was like, let me make something that's like, it's because I'm telling you, some people have never even seen the idea of somebody smuggling or taking somebody to another town.
Right.
It could be something as another town.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a border.
It's something that's regularly here, and
Yeah.
It's not regular.
Right.
Regular.
Nobody knows about it.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Well, see that's
It's like a Tuesday here.
Yeah.
you see that's cool that you're mentioning that route that you're taking because like the whole reason we started this pod was that if you've seen Kill Bill, it starts here in El Paso, and it shows El Paso as a fucking little shithole western town where you have tumbleweeds everywhere and everybody's speaking in like you reckon and just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, we have so much fucking talent here. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do. That as far as for the podcast is to go ahead and bring people like yourself to tell stories and see what there's more than just what people are think as opposed to what's really happening here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So like in the series, you're never gonna. That's one of the things that I also wanted to make sure that every time we see what we call coyote or a pollero, somebody that actually traffics people, I didn't want to use those words.
Okay.
And so in the series, you're never going to hear those words. Not because just simply because it's like, I want the viewer to make their own assumptions of what they're watching.
Okay.
Not by what somebody says.
Not by the
Putting the
stigma.
label.
Right.
Label on
Like
before it happens.
These are just people.
Right.
At the end of the day, and their actions is gonna make viewers see what this guy's for. If I'm rooting for this guy, this guy's either gonna be an illegal alien, or I'm gonna see him as somebody that's just trying to get his grandma over.
Right.
You see what I mean? So it's like that. I'm leaving that up to the viewer.
And El Paso's so small that it's like you see him walking around everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't even realize.
I mean, we were talking about it. There's even signs on the border that say, slow down because you're going to hit somebody crossing in the middle of fucking nowhere. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And the things people do to get, freedoms, whether right or wrong or indifferent, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild what they do.
And you've seen it.
I'm curious to see what the viewers are gonna think, because it's like such a hot topic, and I agree. Like,
It's
you know,
touchy.
like it's a touchy topic. Like, you're either gonna be for or against, or there's really no in between.
It doesn't matter. Just watch.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
Support.
that was a Howard Stern build-up. You remember when Howard Stern was coming up? People that loved him would watch him for an hour.
Yeah.
People that hated him would watch him for 4 hours because they want to see what the hell he was going to do next.
That's why I
That's
watch
just the way
Mayweather fight.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just the
I
way it
wanted-
runs.
Yeah. No.
Sometimes you hate somebody so much that you just can't help yourself, but you want to watch to see something bad happen to that person.
Yeah, it's like
Just want him to fail.
It's like certain people that like hate on Trump.
Yeah.
They still keep up with Trump.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
It's good TV. It's good TV.
Yeah, they keep up on them more than the Trumpers do.
Yeah, no,
I mean, they're all diehards. It's
no,
just-
that's what I'm saying.
it's
It's
crazy.
like, oh man, like there's no winning,
So the series, when is the series going to come out, and where will we be able to watch it?
So I know that the Plaza here in El Paso is gonna have a film fest, and they're having like free entries until June 20th.
Okay.
So I might just I've thought about just submitting the trailer, because the trailer's pretty much set
Wrapped
in
up.
stone, wrapped up, even a little bit more extra, really. And I could really just my whole intention was to be very vague, very, oh God, that's so dramatic. And it's like, damn, this looks good. I want the viewer to be gripped on the seats. And so far, when I've sent out the trailer, people are like, man, I can't wait to watch the rest. And holy shit, whatever, you know. And so that's kind of what I want to do, and then just pull the plug. I want people to be like, well, what the heck? Like, what's gonna happen next? You know, so
leave them hanging.
Exactly. And if I do that successfully at the right time, it'll just beg for more. You know, like and of course that's what we all want. We want to continue this. You know, and so the goal would be to obviously pitch it and to remake it, but obviously with the bigger production. So like pitch it to Netflix. You know, I know you guys had Scooter here, and like the whole thing with Scooter, like he was just in a studio, you know, just working the background scene, and he was there, you know, and he happened to speak to somebody and let him know, yo, I got this idea.
Yeah, and
you know,
8 years later, 8 years later, it finally took to fruition after what, 3 different companies or 3 different channels passed.
Yeah,
pick them up, pass, pick them up, pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta keep pushing it.
Yeah, and so that's the thing too. Is like at first I was like, oh, I'll just make this now, and next year I'll release it. Right?
Yeah.
It's been 3 years since then.
Oh yeah.
So it's like now I'm realizing that like, man, like even though I want to wrap up this and be done with this so I can move on to something else, this thing is gonna stick around for probably the rest of my life. You know, so I'm taking more of a okay, you know, I'm gonna chill on this.
Yeah. Because
the next movie is gonna be about sleep paralysis.
What? How the fuck do you go from
really shit?
Go from a Walter White kind of fucking idea to all right, this motherfucker can't move because he's asleep.
Yeah, no, sleep paralysis. Like I've talked to different people. Like I've had those experiences, and of course my brother, and like just certain people. Of course, like if anybody understands sleep paralysis, it's fucking freaky.
Oh yeah,
I think I've had it before. Yeah.
It's certain times you're able to pull yourself out, and then you just feel so out of it. You look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, that's not me, and you just go back to bed or whatever. But it's such a trippy concept that I was like, well, what if we create a story where like, you know, because we've seen the haunted house story all over again. You know, it's just another story over and over again. Right. But I was like, well, what if the house is causing sleep paralysis? You know, and it's such an unheard of topic. Like you can do research of it. People still don't know what dreams are and why we dream, you know, so.
Yeah, that's why I trip out on people. Like they try to analyze it. Well, it meant if you dream without your pants on, it means this. You know what I'm saying?
So I got to ask ChatGPT, bro.
Because I do have that dream all the time. Like I forget to put pants on.
ChatGPT will tell you everything, bro.
I was like, fuck, I'm hiding something. Fuck.
Yeah. So
obviously I'm not.
He's just a patchless son of a bitch. So the series, how many episodes is there in the series right now that you have?
1.
Okay, so there's only one so far.
Yes.
Okay, how long is that episode?
It's going to be about 40 minutes.
About 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then for the writing part of it, did you write it? Did you have somebody else write? How does it go?
No, so I just started shooting, honestly. I was shooting some stuff for Millionaire Air, the private airport right here in El Paso. El Paso Airport has a private airport for like the billionaires and the rich, just to land on their private airplanes and like take a tour and then dip off, you know.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, they don't have to deal with like customs and stuff. They got their own stuff, you know.
Yeah. That's their own shit to do.
Yeah, that's their own entryway, you know. Yeah. And so I was on site and I was like, man, I never thought I would be, you know, in front of planes landing, you know, like I was on the ground for it. So I was like, I'm just gonna make some scenes now. So I started rolling and I had somebody there and I was like, wait, we'll like play this character, ask me to do this job for you and I'll do it, you know. And that's how the scene started. And so after that, I just kind of kept it going. I didn't have a script. I didn't even have character names. I just started with the idea of filming it. I need this shot, I need this, and I need B-roll of that. And just driving through El Paso, oh, you know what? The neighborhood looks good from this angle. I'm going to have to come back to this. And just continuing to develop the shots. That's when I was like, okay, I need to put this into a script now so that everybody can follow us. Because once I was ready for actors to come into the play, then that's when I needed them to be more organized, you know. So like studiobinder.com, great site for anybody that's into script writing. If you have an idea for a movie, use studiobinder.com. They allow you to create 2 free scripts. And, you know, the pages are unlimited, so you can just script, and they make it so easy for you to, like, explain your scenes, whether it's outside, interior, exterior, you know, what kind of shot it is. And then they also have like a great YouTube channel where you could just learn, bro. Like this is film school 100%. Like
Really?
YouTube, Studio Binder, and
So we could write a movie.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have so many ideas.
Yeah.
But somehow they all involve like pizza delivery boys.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And it's a couch.
you know what's my favorite
Yeah.
movie? 60 Minutes or Less.
60 minutes or
You ever
less.
seen that
that's
movie?
that's the one with the pizza guy, right?
Yeah, that's a pizza guy driver. I think he gets strapped on with the bomb. That's a good movie.
Did you
Yep.
see the documentary on it?
No, it's a real
So
thing
it's a
though,
real
right?
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I've seen that one.
So you see the documentary, dude? I think the documentary was called something evil. I can't remember. It was on Netflix.
No, yeah.
Dude, right off the bat, they show you they show the start of it. They show the bomb go off.
yeah.
That's crazy. So it actually goes off.
So yeah,
does.
that's how it started.
That's crazy.
So the actual incident that happened, it was a gentleman who was mentally challenged,
wow.
but he worked at a pizza spot. So these guys knew that this guy was big on adventures. He was big on like puzzles and shit like
Damn,
that.
they preyed on him.
So that's why they had all these puzzles. So it was basically it was a puzzle. So it's like if you go and you rob this place, you're gonna get this piece that's gonna get a puzzle to unlock the mechanism.
Right.
So I think it had a total of like 4 or 5.
That's where the
banks or some
couple
shit
was
like that.
involved, right?
Yeah, that was
Like,
a couple that was
yeah,
involved.
yeah.
I think it was like his cousin's friend or some shit that set him up, if I remember correctly. This was like
Fuck,
6
can't
years
trust
ago.
no one. Fuck.
And so that's why he's going to all these banks, and they even said in the series that he was like, "You need to hurry up because this thing's gonna go off. I need to get my puzzle. I need to get my puzzle piece." They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're robbing me, and you're talking about a puzzle piece. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" So that's how they did it. And
That's
then
crazy.
Yeah.
But like, you're Rain Man, huh?
And then
Yeah.
the bomb
Like,
exploded
And the
after
thing
that.
went off, and because when they finally caught him, when he was in transit, they caught him, and you hear the deet deet deet. He's like, "Hey, I need to go. I need to get my puzzle piece." Boom. And I
That's
was like,
crazy.
God. And that's how it started. I was like, God
I
damn.
need to look
Yeah.
this up.
Yeah, I remember that
We go
shit.
to bed watching like court cases and shit like that. It's
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
No, that documentary is fucking
Yeah,
wild.
that was a couple years ago, right? When
No,
it came
it's-
out.
you're
That's
going
crazy.
back.
The movie
yeah,
makes
you're going
sense
about
now. I
7
mean, I
years.
love that fucking
When?
movie.
When?
Rest in
about
peace to the
7
guy.
years, dude.
Really? I thought it was just
longer.
last year.
No, it was a while
Yo,
ago.
pizza delivery guys, be safe out there, yo.
Dude, especially, I mean, the fact that they just preyed on the fact that he was mentally challenged. I was like, dude,
They
that's
don't do the 30
Yeah, no,
minutes
that's-
are free
that's-
anymore, right?
No,
That's fucked
dude,
up.
it was-
I hope they didn't know that he was.
no.
'Cause if they
knew he
did,
was.
like, that's fucked up.
That's why they said he was perfect for it.
That's
Because if he
crazy.
gets caught, well, it's
It's like when
well,
people
he's just-
prey on like the elderly. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you fucking
I'm going
yeah. Fucking guys are assholes.
yeah.
So how many people do you have? How many characters are there in the series then? Because I'm assuming one of the main characters is you had mentioned the detective. Then you had mentioned
Yes, the
the-
detective doesn't even have a name. I left it
That's
up to the
awesome.
guy, like, because I'm telling you,
What's
we're
up, boss man?
we're filming these characters, like, and you only see this guy for glimpses. Like you see him taking photos and noticing, like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And then next thing you see him is him putting the old fashioned putting the thing on the
The little
board.
thumbtacks and
Yeah, so it's like you just see those types of shot that it's like he's a detective.
yeah.
You don't know his name though. You don't know, and that's what I mean is you're gonna want to know more, like
Right.
So
Okay.
So the whole episode is basically just a big ass teaser.
basically,
For
yeah,
what it is.
a really good teaser though.
Yeah.
because you're gonna see some lengthy shit. Yeah, no,
Right.
of course. But of course, I'm gonna want to pull the plug so that it creates. It has to because otherwise, it's not gonna work.
Right. So I know you had we had chatted and you had said that you'd started also on music videos and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Who are some of the people that you've some of the videos that you've done or that you've worked with or for?
Oh man.
And were any of those videos like anything outrageous as far as for like you got your pyrotechnics, you got your I'm assuming they're all music videos, right?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I mean, I've done it all, man. Big sets, small sets, parking lot, guerrilla style shooting.
Yeah.
Like you've done it all, But one of the things that really pushed me to make this movie is that I mean the idea was always there. I wanted to, and I kind of knew that it was kind of gonna be that style, but I didn't know until I got to Sunland. But what gave me the most of the confidence to go after it was the fact that I really am comfortable with being that guy to call and make the things happen. Like when somebody books with me
Yeah.
or asks me to film something and you know what, I want to go all out.
Yeah.
I want to have cars. I want to have people involved. I want to have a location.
Right.
Do you know a place where we can park the car in a big studio? I want to have that, you know. And so through the 13 years of working with people, I
All the
kind of know,
connections.
like, more or less where everything's at. And so when it comes to like having a scene, having something crazy or out doing something, like I've been there, you know. I've worked with behind the scenes, a lot of behind the scenes, you know, and that's how you get experience, you know. A lot of people
Right.
don't want to shoot behind the scenes. They want to shoot the music video, but you're forgetting that sometimes you can reach out to say, I want to shoot the behind the scenes. They don't have a team that does that. And so
Right.
you need the behind the scenes,
Like
you know,
making of the video. and-
exactly. And so that was my way. Like I was really, really good at that. And documentation was always been my skill, you know, events and stuff like that. So I took that into that, you know. I needed to make sure that everybody that was a key player into a certain event or a certain video to feel like they had their own shot, and they feel like if it was director Spike, what's his name, director Joe Spike, who's done like every music video from like QC, and that's quality control, with like Gucci Mane, the Migos,
Okay.
like you name it.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy has done it all, you know. He's an OG. He's been around since forever, you know, shooting music videos for fucking Juicy J way back then, you know, like learning from him. And what's crazy is that he called to say, yo, I'm shooting this music video for this Evander Graham guy. I need a C-stand, yo, because he was working with the big crane vest and everything, and he just didn't have a way, like he couldn't rest. This whole thing is on him.
Right.
And so he just needed to unload, and he couldn't find somebody to give him a C-stand. He didn't know the area, you know. He just landed and he got here. So he called, and I don't even know how he got the phone number, but showed up with a C-stand, and that's how, again, got into the game. Just, you know, shooting behind the scenes, getting to see how the directors work, and then realizing that, you know what, because I know how to move and coordinate and stuff like that, big directors like Joe on the spot were like, you know what, I need you to help me hype up the crowd. I need you to, at that point, he's asking me to co-direct something and help the crowd move and,
Right.
and hype them up, because you'd be surprised. You're shooting a music video and you tell people, all right, get hyped.
Yeah.
You have to be yelling at you. Have to have a speaker blowing everything out of proportion, right?
Right.
Have to let the talent know. You can't just lip sync because it's not going to look right. You have to actually say it. And the background people have to be hyped the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's very hard. People, you know, it's very hard for people to like, it's crazy. It
can't
sounds
fake
great.
it.
Yeah, no, seriously. And sometimes people are like not moving right. And it takes a lot to move people in the proper way. I've done so many videos where had I not done it, I know the video would have came out cheesy, and that's one of the things I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't like the cheesy look. At least make it look cinematic, you know. That way you avoid the cheesy look, you know, because I've been asked for everything, bro. Like I even had somebody my most popular artist that I've shot for was a female artist, and her name is Ness. She's also a tattoo artist, and she's more in the New Mexico area.
Okay.
And she's really searched for it on YouTube. So you just look up Ness, N-E-Z, Ness.
Nice.
She's got videos like crazy, you know. And like one time she was like, yo, have you ever seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut? Now we're talking about a classic, you know, Kubrick. And I was like, no, I've never seen it. She's like, what? You're crazy. Like, basically, it's about the 1% and these sex dungeons and shit like that. You know, I want to shoot a music video like that. And at first I was like, you fucking crazy. I'm not going to do that, you know?
They need an extra? I'm down.
Sex
I'll be
dungeons and shit, you know? I was like, no.
I'll be the stunt double.
It's the Illuminati, bro. It's the Illuminati.
Yeah, and so she wanted to go in that direction. So I was like, oh,
I
man.
got that mask and shit.
But the more, I got the party mask. And shit.
Yeah.
But the more she kept talking about why she wanted to do it, and the more she broke it down, I was like, you know what? I think I can make this happen. And you know what? We did it. And like I said, if you look her up, you'll find the video. And I think it came out pretty good, you know. So.
Contacted your Illuminati friends.
Bro, I know some people.
Yo,
We're not gonna go sacrifice anybody, but we'll make it look like
It's gonna be play
Yeah,
sacrifice.
play
No,
sacrifice.
it wasn't nothing like that. You know, it was basically they get kidnapped, they get taken there, and you know, at the end of the night they get, you know, so drunk that they forget about it. But the ending
I
shot,
love that. I love that.
right?
I love when that happens, man.
You just black out.
There's some shit I don't ever want to remember. But I remember in the morning.
Yeah. There's
So
always
yeah,
video.
so yeah.
There's always video. So you
Well,
said there's different types of shooting, right? You had mentioned guerrilla shooting and like how many different types of shooting?
Oh
are
man, there's so many. I mean, my favorite, of course, is the commercial look, because shooting stuff in commercial means that you have to make sure that everything's looking right. Like
Everything's
especially
in sync.
no with color. Like a lot
Okay.
of people right now are fucking it up. Like when it comes to color. Like if you're shooting a commercial, the burger should look like a burger, and by that I mean the green should look like green lettuce. The people should not look like orange. Like
Yeah.
music videos, sure, go nuts. But when it comes to commercial work, you wanna keep your away from that. You want to keep it neutral. Guerrilla style shooting. Somebody that just wants like a one take or wants to meet at a parking lot just because of the location and means something to them. Just shoot a video right here, right now. That's a guerrilla style shooting. But also like it depends what they need. Really.
So these movies that are considered adult videos, what kind of shooting?
That is
kind of
what
shooting
Gonzo,
is
right?
that? Is that what it's called?
Gonzo, I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert at that, but I've
How
heard.
the fuck did you get Gonzo?
No, there's. It's like that's the guy that made it up or something. I don't know. I know too much of this.
What type of shooting is that considered? Is that
First person?
Is that cinematic? Is that
that's crazy. I don't even know what that is.
what,
No,
porn?
you never seen porn?
No, yeah, but
Okay, all right, I'm glad.
I don't pay attention to what the camera.
yeah, I don't know what
you're
you're
Oh,
titles
okay.
and shit.
They talk.
He just hears it.
No, yeah, I don't know. When it comes to stuff like that, that's more like first person.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
people
what I'm
wanna,
saying, POV.
Yeah, POVs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to start shooting POVs.
That's the best part, man. I mean, you
You
gotta
know
get
what's
the
crazy?
right angle, though.
You know what's crazy? A POV is everything now, because like you've seen the videos where it's like the people are filming in restaurants with their iPhone. They're like doing this and then swishing out, and it's like we've seen that 100 times. Like it's only gonna get cool 100 other more times,
Right.
But that's a POV. That's a POV.
Who are some of your influences, like as far as directors are concerned?
Oh man, well last year I kind of just anybody that's looking into film, man, they should just get into like any casting. Like just get into casting, try out, because I did one casting last year when I was like, man, I really need to get not just behind the camera but in front of the camera to know what it's like in a big production. So I signed up for a casting call and they called me, and I ended up on set with Joaquin Phoenix right after he had just won his award.
The Joker.
Yeah, literally. And
The Joker.
A24 was in New Mexico making a film, and he was part
I
of the
love that
cast.
studio. I love all their movies.
All their movies,
They're
man.
fucking
They're
killing it
fucking
right
crazy,
now.
crazy. And so, wonderful team, bro. You should have seen it. The cranes, everything. I got to see everything, bro. Like, it just was more exposure and it was that sign again to say, yeah, you can get there. Just work on this for right now, And so, just learning again, more experience, how to work on set, how to work as an extra. I mean, they feed you amazing. Like if you get on a film set, film production like that, like just know you're gonna be taken care of, But there were scenes. What impressed me the most about Joaquin Phoenix is that the whole thing was in the middle of summer. It was hot. There was no shade whatsoever.
Right.
And they built a little canopy thing for him so that he can go and get some shade whenever the cameras weren't rolling. And he was not having it. He wanted to feel the heat with all of us. And bro, I'm telling you, for 2 days straight, we were out there from 6 a.m. all the way till the sun was down at like 7:30, and the sun was just beaming down on us, and he was out there with us, braving it out, So that earned my respect. I was like, man, like, and when he needed to go into character, he just looked down, bro, and he was just like, look down, grab his like hip, and he was like almost talk to himself, really like talk to himself. And then he would just step out, and he was that character, and you could see just like this whole transformation.
Body language.
Yeah, like you could see building from his feet all the way up top, and then he was that character, And I was like, wow. Like, and once the cameras cut and they cut, it took him a second, and he was still hanging on to that character, and then he would cut, and I was like, wow. Like, I got to witness somebody that just won a big award for acting. And so I had to shake his hand. They said
He'll go down as one of the greats, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So
He's a beast.
he's a beast, man.
He is a fucking. Did you see that movie? The one that he's in love with his cell phone. Was it
No, the computer, right? Or
No, it was his cell phone. Scarlett Johansson was the voice. It was his girlfriend on the
damn,
cell
I would
phone.
be in love with that
I think
too.
it's called You. No.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I've loved them some signs,
Ooh.
bro. When he wore that little temple,
Yeah, yeah.
thing with the little
Just
kids.
swing for the fences. Swing for the fences.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
Great
I
actor.
think this family resembles a lot of signs because my kids have water everywhere in the house. I'm the tinfoil guy for sure. Dude, this is
Just water.
Yeah,
everywhere.
so
Water
we're
bottles everywhere. Or
Yeah,
what?
we just don't have crops. We do that. Do circles, and I got the crazy fucking dog that won't shut up.
It's crazy because
awesome.
I mean, New Mexico, there's a lot of crops, and there's a town next to Cruces when you're getting to the outskirts, and it's called Doña Ana. There's so many like farms out there, bro.
Yeah.
If you just spend the time out there, you'll see some crazy shit, like lights.
Really?
Yeah,
Like sober or
sober for sure. Yeah.
out here tripping balls? And shit?
No, man. You drive out there in Doña Ana and you look up, man. And sometimes there's lights, and you know how you've seen them on YouTube and stuff,
Yeah.
like the line of lights or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
freaky.
New Mexico is a weird state. I mean, no offense,
Yeah,
but I mean,
no,
it's
yeah.
some weird
Bunch of
shit up
weirdos.
there, man.
Yeah, no, there are weird as shit. The mescaleros and all that shit.
I
They're
love
all
both.
weird.
I love both states, because I'm from here, so it's like,
Right.
how can you not?
And how'd you end up in Cruces, or you just?
Man, well, that's why I put out that autobiography, man, like just to put the crazy life behind me. Because like and this is the thing, if you're going through struggle and you've been through struggle and you're still dealing with mental health and how to put all these thoughts that can't leave your mind and you wish you could just be happy, you need to write a book.
Yeah.
Even if you don't ever put it out, the fact that you're putting it out, it's almost like when people go to therapy. People go to therapy to speak about what they're got going on, right? And it's just about that venting process. And writing is part of that venting process. So like, just some domestic violence shit had gone on, bro.
Yeah.
Like landing in El Paso, my mom meeting somebody that was supposed to be a good guy, didn't end up being a good guy, and kept me and my brother locked away in a room for 5 years. And then we escaped as a whole family, ended up in Las Cruces because it was a safe haven, ended up at the women's shelter. And the women's shelter was the reason why I ended up in school. I was 13, didn't even know how to read or write, or much less English. And so like I had to really pick it up that same year. Next year I was in high school, so like it was freshman year was a blur. Junior year, by the time I was there, I was like, okay, I got the video shit going on, like let me just hang on for a sec, and after graduation, just kind of kept up with it. Then once, that's kind of the reason why I kind of just took off after I got my citizenship, just because so much.
Got to
so
start
much
from
before that.
scratch.
Yeah.
Out with the bad, in with the good. Now,
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a fucking movie right there. That's a fucking movie right there. There's all kinds of movies. Man.
Yeah.
I'd be kind of scared to write shit down that's coming from my head, though, because I'll lose the book and fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, like, oh, fuck, my deepest, darkest secrets.
Shit,
And then
man.
when you go to court, that readback, boy, if you got that
Is that
bad
your handwriting?
readback-
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I know you didn't spell that word
Well,
right.
but I was telling you, that's how like when I put that book out that same week or whatever, it started catching some buzz, and some publications had picked it up, and started getting on the news, and Homeland Security ended up calling me, and I thought I was in trouble, So
They got me. They fucking got me.
they just wanted to see if the people out there were still post the threat or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So when you're questioning the people, did you come across a lot of people that didn't want to talk about what was going on? Did you have a lot of not backlash, but a lot of rebuttal about you don't want to ask certain people about that shit?
No, not at all. People want to share.
Really?
People want to share the story, which is crazy. The only people that told me not to do it was honestly like family.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been doing this whole thing, and really not telling my mom about it.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Just because.
She'd be mad pissed.
Yeah, like she just doesn't want me to do something that would attract attention in a negative way, and that's not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I'm
No,
just
you're
trying
just shedding
to
light on
shedding the light on how things are, whether you're
just
for
the
or
way it
against
is.
it. This is what's happening. Like, take a look. People need to take a look, take awareness or whatever.
That's life here.
That's life. That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And so
That's what we see.
And how can I not be inspired by that? I mean, it's literally all over. So
Yeah.
I remember I told my sister, my sister's deaf mute, so I know sign language, and I remember making that call and letting her know what I was working on, and she was like, "Don't you do it, please.
Mm-hmm.
Please
Oh,
don't
she didn't
do
want
it."
you to do it.
Oh, she did not want me to do it whatsoever. She was afraid for me.
Just because of the negativity of the subject they were doing, or just
The subject in general.
Yeah.
Is so touchy that it's like, well, why? Why do you want to get into that? Like it's not even. Please don't do that. And so after that's when I stopped telling family altogether, or really anybody really, and I just worked at it until just recently. If they catch it, they catch it. But it's something much bigger than me now. Now people are interested in it. They want to invest in it. People are invested in it, And so it's like now it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
And it is bigger than me. It's what we have here. And so I said if I keep sharing my ideas with people before I get them done, they're gonna shape my ideas.
That's the worst thing you can do.
And I did not want that. I was like, okay, thank you, Jessica, but I'm not going to listen.
No, yeah, that's the worst thing you can do.
I gotta step away and just do this.
And that's an
I need
important
to.
story to tell, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
need to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the more that they would tell you no, would that like make you want to do it even more, because they'd be like, no, evidently you're hitting something.
The
right?
more I knew that they were possibly right, because it's such it's such a hot topic, man. I'm telling you, like it's such a hot topic, like how it's gonna shock people. Some people might leave the wherever I'm airing it or streaming or whatever, film fest or whatever. Some people might leave,
Yeah.
because they're gonna see something that's like I can't
It's
believe.
gonna open a lot of eyes, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then especially,
Yeah.
people outside of here, you know.
Yeah, people that live in the area and possibly don't even know that that's a thing.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's why she was like, please don't do it. Don't bring this attention towards you, And
Yeah.
so.
And that's crazy, because usually anytime somebody tells me, I mean, it's the reverse psychology, right? Don't do it. It's like, fuck yeah, I'm doing it.
You better
I'm
be.
definitely
Hey,
fucking
you can
doing
catch.
it.
You can
Yeah,
catch a case. Be careful
I'm
with that,
definitely
man.
doing it. But it's something like I said with this pod. The whole reason we're doing it is because I believe everybody has a story to tell, right?
Yeah.
And I believe everybody has a right to hear that story. Now,
Yeah.
depending upon, of course, you have your restrictions, or you have certain people that, are just cuckoo. You're like, nah, I'm not. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But when it's something like this, like you said, something that's such a huge, it's a life changer for many different people involved, right?
Yeah.
And people don't talk about it until they need to get votes, or they need to get
Right.
swing certain opinions about certain shit
Yeah.
their way. Then it's a fucking major crisis, even though it's been a crisis to the people within the area that it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is, and it's awesome, dude. Again, talking with director Marco Antonio Olvera, Sunland Series. I want to see this trailer. I want to see. So, how long is the trailer that you have out right now?
I believe it's about close to 4 minutes.
So close to 4 minutes, and
Yeah.
then the whole debut you have right now is about 45 minutes. You said, right?
Yes.
So, did you enter it already? I know you had mentioned the film festival June 20th. Right?
No. I just
What's holding you back?
the fact that I want it to be good. Of course, I've heard it. The first project is going to be what takes the longest.
Right.
It's always going to be the first one, And so I've been in situations where I walked away and I was like, I don't know if I got it right.
Right.
And I've had to call that same person 4 times. I've done scenes where I've shot him more than several times, because until I get it right, then it's good. Because I'm telling you, I don't want, if one little 10 seconds somewhere is cheesy and it doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't feel real, it's not gonna.
Yeah, it'll fuck it all up.
Yeah,
It'll
it's gonna
derail what you're trying to message.
It's gonna derail it, exactly. And so.
And you're real hard on yourself, probably.
Yeah, and I'm really,
You're your
really
worst
real
critic.
hard on myself. But I did meet Jay Valencia, who's gotten to work and learn from guys that have worked on Star Wars, bro.
Oh shit, George
He-
Lucas.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm not even playing, because he used to live in California right when all that boom Star Wars was going on. And so he got to not only work with them, but also be trained by them. And so at first I was like, dang, like, you sound pretty, this is two years ago. I was like, damn, man, we got to keep in touch. I'm working on something. Maybe you can do the sound design for it or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to. Later on, he's pressing on me.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I share it to him. And he's like, holy shit. Yeah, I would love to be part of this. Come over to my house. I go over to his house, bro. He wasn't playing.
Yeah.
He's got sound design up the wazoo. And I was like, and he kept going more about his mentors and learning from the Star Wars guys. And he was telling me about how certain Star Wars sounds were actually river, and the sound was stretched and cut. And he was giving me the secrets, because he was there to see them not only recorded, but in the room as they were tweaking and making lightsaber sounds, and for the first time, and so once it's crazy, but he owns this Desert Micro, which is a microgreens company, and they supply microgreens to restaurants and stuff like that. So that's what he does in New Mexico.
Wow.
Chilling.
Chilling, having a good time, loving microgreens, being healthy. All he
Yeah.
eats is greens. you know. But on this part time and his love for and his passion is sound design, and so meeting contacts like that, it's like I could just wrap this up and turn it in, but not only is he a sound design, but he told me that he was a judge and the main guy to approve certain films that were coming into certain film festivals in California. Like he is the guy that knows how to export the sound, how to export like the video.
There's your
and,
connect, man.
There's that connect. And so I'm like, man, like meeting contacts like him, it's like, okay, well, certain things I cannot rush, you know. I'm just gonna have to like suck it up and realize that this is like a lifelong project. Like this is gonna be around. Like it's, you know, and might be this year, might be next year, but meeting contacts like that let me know that, like, you know what, I might want to have a second set of eyes on this, you know, because him just looking at a little bit, just him alone told me, you know what, you need to stop what you're doing and just work on the edit.
But you're not worried about someone like coming from beating you to the punch, you know, like making a film.
No,
stealing your
it
idea.
takes-
No.
Even at that,
whatsoever.
it takes a while.
Yeah, I mean,
that should fix a long. fucking time.
you know, and if they do, well then, so be it, because at least I know that it's gotten some eyes on it and it inspired somebody else to make it, you know. But
I'd be pissed. Fuck that.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm a petty motherfucker.
there's fucking room for everything. You know?
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
got it's the interpretation of what you see.
yeah,
That's different. You know what.
Well,
Marco,
you can have a different point of view because you've been on both sides.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
and I do have, you know, lawyer friends that at the end of the day I'm gonna, you know, be like, yo, how do I protect myself, you know, because I do want something major to happen. Like I'm just the director for this pilot. The pilot could be remade by a bigger production, and
Right.
I'm okay with that as long as they pay me out.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I better see my money. Keep me around. I might, you know, help around the script, you know.
Right.
So that's how far I'm trying to take it. And if it's not Netflix, which I mean, I'm favoring Netflix. Netflix, if you're watching this, please, let's work together already.
Scooter.
I got a
Talk to
futuristic
Scooter.
Yeah, I got Scooter. Come on, brother.
Let's get it going.
Didn't they build a big old studio up there in Albuquerque or something like that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're moving in, and I heard Warner Brothers is moving into Albuquerque as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody's leaving Cali, dude.
Yeah.
There's so many restrictions now.
Yeah.
But
That's why
Albuquerque's a
everybody's-
weird place.
That's why everybody. Yeah, well, that's all
Matthew McConaughey was out here in Texas repping for the film industry, and
Yeah.
they actually want to do. They want to replicate what New Mexico is doing for film incentives in Texas to have more films over here.
Yeah, because I know a lot of it was been going to Georgia now.
Yeah.
That's been like one of the hot spots right now.
Tax
Georgia.
incentives,
Yeah, tax
yeah.
incentives and it's
Cali, man.
nuts.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Cali's driving everybody out there. They're just
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So this, like I said, dude, I'm dying to see this trailer work. Where can people see the trailer right now?
They can go to Sunland Series on YouTube. If you just go to Sunland Series, I got a video up there where I'm talking about the inspiration for Sunland, and then
Okay.
I got another one for the trailer, which is that whole 4-minute episode.
Yeah.
And then pretty short, soon I'll be releasing like just like cool behind the scenes. Like, for example, I got to sit on a panel for the Border Patrol,
Yeah.
and they had some agents, you know, speak about the situations in Sunland and just like the work that they've been doing. And so it's like, man, like for example, they were able to this guy that was a coyote, for lack of better words, you know. Like I said, I don't want to use those words, but
Right.
this guy was in Sunland. Like they up there where the striker is up right now, because you could see the Sunland Mountains. There's a tank up there, and they're calling it the striker. There's a camera up there that could see the border at night vision and the whole thing, like in pure detail. And they caught some guy just taking little kids, bro, like a 4-year-old and like a 3-year-old, to the border, climbed up the wall, and just kind of like reached over the wall and like dropped them.
What the fuck?
And so these kids, like, you just see them land, bro, and it's like the worst thing that you could. I mean, that's a tall wall. You know what I mean? And so, luckily the kids lived, but you see that stuff, and that's not posted anywhere.
No.
This is just something that they just showed during the panel, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
you know, they just dumped some kid over the border, and as soon as he did that, he climbed back down, and then you just see him like running.
Take off.
He don't give a
away.
fuck.
He
already got paid.
He already got paid.
Yeah,
The
he's
kid's on
out.
the other side. He's out, you know. And so you just see the kids kind of like, at first you don't see them move. And then the 4-year-old gets up and starts crying and checks on the other one, and then that's when they show up and did the rest. But they were able to track that guy working with the forces out there in Juarez, and they
Their
tracked the guy.
counterparts,
And
yeah.
they threw his ass in jail for sure.
Fuck yeah.
So why do you think that people that's nobody wants to talk about it? What do you think the actual reason is that nobody wants to show it? Do you think if you show something like that, does it dehumanize the situation? Does it show really how bad it is?
It's
what do you think it is?
It's like, okay, I could ask you the same question. It's like, in my opinion, it's the same thing as like when there were, I believe Biden was out here, right? They rolled the precedent through downtown, and what they did is they removed all the homeless people, removed all the migrants that were literally overpopulating downtown.
Yeah.
And so why did they do that?
Oh, just make it look like it's not happening.
Exactly.
Because that's his agenda.
See, exactly. So it's like, that's also part of the reason why you don't really see it. Like, yes, we see it on the local news, and they're only pointing out the bad guys, but what about the people that maybe,
Right. No, it's like I said, that's the reason that we need to have these conversations. Whether they're wrong, right, or indifferent, the conversation needs to be had. Yeah. And that's the whole point of this
money to be made. I guess,
Yeah.
And again, I think that's why it's such a hot topic. It's such a hot. Please, my sister was begging for me to do it, not to do it, because it's something not talked about. Like, and you put a movie or a film up about that, it's gonna catch some eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna.
That would be something you'd want to show, though. The kid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that would be,
absolutely. You understand what kind of animals you're dealing with.
Yeah. And exactly. So it's like you can see both sides. I'm just the director that can see both sides.
Yeah.
I have friends that are, I'm 31 now, so I've had friends that are in law enforcement. My brother, he's a barber. He cuts hair for the sheriffs in Doña Ana County all the time. And so he gets to hear all of it, and so you see that side of it. And of course, being a parent now, you look at things and you think differently, and you're like,
everything's
whoa,
completely different.
Like how someone would send their kids through that, and they're waiting for them.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that the mom was like living somewhere in like a way different northern state, and she was told that that the kids were gonna like arrive safely on a car and drive through all that. When she saw it, I guess from the detectives, when they told me that they showed her that video, they took that video and they drove it all the way and say, "Here are your kids," because they were trying to arrest the mother,
Yeah.
But she was able to prove that, I'm just a victim as well. Whatever that situation, however that got handled, she was told that they were not gonna be in like that, and obviously that was not the case.
No, man, it's
that's fucked up.
It's demoralizing, because when you see people not being treated like people, they're just commerce at that point.
Yeah,
it's fucking wild to me.
Yeah, man.
So for people to get kind of an understanding about your background, right, a little bit as far as for movie wise, like who are some of the directors that you've really been into? Like some of the guys that you believe that, dude, this dude's on top of their game, or this guy's the one that I kind of agree with his viewpoint and stuff.
Man, I love how fucking crazy Kubrick was. Like if you look at The Shining, I'm forgetting her name. The actress in that movie, The Shining, she actually was in my opinion, I think she went nuts during filming because of how fucking crazy.
Duvall, right? Was she?
Yes.
Duvall.
Yeah.
Yes.
They treated her like shit.
Yes.
They treated her like
but that's for her to get into.
Yeah, for the character.
Yeah, and so like the director really wanted to put the cast under immense stress so that stress could come out.
Yeah.
They did not want to be there no longer.
Yeah.
And so the characters that just naturally came out. And so you look at those things and it's like, I don't agree how they mistreated her. I don't agree his fucking extensive directorness, the lengths that he went to put amounts of stress to somebody to the point to where their hair is falling off.
But
I don't agree with that. But the end product was good, right? But I just don't think that, so it's like you love these guys, but then you don't. You know, once you dig a little deeper, you know, so like, the whole thing with love Tarantino movies, but you know, when the movie starts, it says a wine-stained company.
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
it has that like ooh, like,
Yeah.
disdained, and everything is stained now, you know, and so.
Well, I mean, you could say the same for Kubrick. He was touching little girls or married little girls or some shit. He's been on the run for.
That's crazy. See, that's news to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So it's like
Yeah, he can't come back over here.
That's why he's not in the
there's
US.
not a director that I like, you know,
yeah.
because
But
you know, at the end of the day, it's like,
Yeah, and it's hard to fucking separate art from the person.
yeah.
You
Well, I
know
mean,
what
to make some crazy ass movies like that, you gotta
gotta
be a
be
little
nuts,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tarantino was he's actually tested in the genius level, like IQ level.
Yes, and
that's why he's so fucking.
Yeah, and that's something admirable. Like that's like okay, like he really is so devoted to his films. Like his life has
That's
been
what it
filmed,
is.
you know,
Yeah.
and you know him as that, and so he's fucking crazy.
Wow.
too.
He even bought like his first job at the video store. He bought all their
Yeah.
stock. And
I heard every 100 takes they take a shot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Fuck
so
yeah.
he loves movies that much
Yeah.
that it's a celebration to be on set every time, and so I feel like that every time because I've been in cold situations that as soon as I'm filming, I don't even feel the cold. I'm really in my zone, you know. So, you know, I do want to give a shout out to the directors for Sinners right now. That one director,
Ooh.
if you look up the director for Sinners right now, he has been working with Michael B. Jordan for like I think 10 years or a little bit over, and he's been directing some good stuff, and so he's
I wanna check
thought
it
it
out.
was
I
the
haven't
dude
checked
from
it out yet.
Key and Peele. Is that?
no.
no.
I thought he was involved with
But what they
this.
did with that Alien movie was good too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I still haven't even seen that one.
No, yeah.
I can't remember what the name of them.
I-
fucking
I-
movie.
The
I'm
Cowboys.
I really that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
I saw
one.
the set at Universal, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that director for Sinners, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry, but he released a little video that shows the differences in like film, like old school film, and they shot Sinners in film. So he's taking that approach of old school film, you know. So he could have gone.
It's Ryan Coogler.
There you go. Yep.
What
I knew that.
he shot
I
it
had
in
the
like
fucking name.
IMAX or something, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. Well, nowadays you can go digital, you know, RE.
No, but he went old school, right?
Yeah, he went
Yeah.
old school. So
Yeah, you got to. All right, so before we end off, we got to hear, as your perspective, top 3 movies of all time in your eyes.
top 3 movies of all time. Number 1. I do have a list on my phone of top 3
Oh,
movies,
shit, okay.
which is crazy. Let me see.
Are you gonna go
does,
pull it
does
out?
it does it
Pull
still
the list out. The
is it
list, not
still
yet.
live? Hold on.
Starting
Top 3?
Starting from 3.
Damn,
to
that'd
2
be
to
hard,
1.
man.
I mean, there's a lot of great.
Yeah,
movies
it's just great movies.
and everything. I mean, it's like again, it's all in.
I mean,
My list
perspective.
of greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, from
Number 1. This came to my mind, and I just checked the list. It's still number 1. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
that's a
Bro.
great movie. That's a
That,
great movie.
like, I love film. I'm a writer at heart. So that movie, when you watch it, bro, like, there's certain parts that, like, if they would have taken out the story of the guy getting electrocuted by lightning, if they took that guy out of the movie, that would still be a great movie.
Yeah.
But they have so much of that. It's such a script movie. Like, you
Right.
listen to the script on that movie. Oh man, like if a movie has good script, I'm gonna fucking. It's like your mind is eating.
Yeah.
And watching something, and it's just having this whole. You gotta be into writing to know that that's such a good movie. Like it's.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
So many stories within that story, and so. Second one would
Benjamin
be
Button.
No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
Again,
that's a good one.
a movie that was out here. They shot it out here.
Dude, that dude played
What I-
that psycho
what I-
with all
yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
I
It
love
was
that
dark.
movie. That movie has no soundtrack. It's just audio.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nat sound audio of the ambience, but other than
Yeah,
that,
that-
no soundtrack.
Wow.
And again, that made me feel like, you know what? And a lot of those shots are tripod shots. They have a lot of moving shots, yes, in films nowadays, but that shot, if it moved, it was a dolly or something like a pan. But for the most part, it was shot on tripod. Watch that movie again, and you'll notice, damn, most of this movie was shot on a tripod. And that takes such a skill, because to be able to shoot it perfectly just still, that still takes some skill, you know? So Watchmen, God, I love that movie.
Wow.
Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards,
yep.
Forrest Gump, Harriet, Man on Fire, Amores Perros. Bajo la Misma Luna, The Shining, Terminator 2, and Apocalypto.
Apocalypto's.
Mel Gibson.
I love that one. I love that
bro.
one.
Well, I still haven't watched Apocalypto.
You've
It
never
is such
seen
a good movie.
Apocalypto?
It's on Tubi.
Fuck,
Tubi is
dude.
free. Watch that.
No,
Amazing.
I watched all those, but Apocalypto.
You want to understand what's you can
Yeah, 'cause
just
they
know
speak
what the
in-
fuck's going on.
They
Yeah,
speak
yeah.
in Mayan, right? In the Mayan language.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking amazing.
Ooh, man, with those names that you said were some pretty
Yeah.
heavy hit. Django.
Django.
Actually,
yeah.
I just saw that one not too long ago again.
Yeah.
Inglorious
The
Bastards.
D silent
Glorious
motherfucker.
Bastards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Men on
D
Men on
silent.
Fire. Come on,
Oh,
Denzel.
Okay,
Come
yeah,
on.
that's a good. That's a
Yeah.
good.
You know, I didn't even leave out Training Day. You know, like I left that out. You know, but
Yeah, that
Denzel.
was a little bit more. I don't want to say commercialized, but I think the others were a little bit more film style. Not,
No, yeah,
not-
like
not-
What?
yeah.
Men on Fire.
Oh,
Man
no.
on Fire is a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my list. Yeah.
That's those are some
Amores-
heavy hitters.
Amores
Perros with
Perros.
Gael Garcia.
Yeah.
and,
Also a movie on
Bernal.
Tubi. You can watch that movie on Tubi.
Yeah, I saw it when it first came out. That shit was
Yeah.
Yeah, it fucked you up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
one movie that I believe was it Traffic.
Traffic.
Oh, Trade. Watch a
No.
movie Trade. It's about sex trafficking. Man, it's so sad.
Fuck.
Trade. Yeah. There's some movies out there, man.
No,
They'll
no.
change your life.
I think it was a Traffic, the one that has Dennis Quaid. No, it's not it. Damn it. There's another one I can't remember off the top of my head. And every time I watch it, it fucking kills me. It's watch. I'll think about it right now. Michael Pena comes on and he's a
Michael Pena.
yeah, he was a little Crash.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
Crash.
Crash
That's a good
fucks
one.
me up every
Yeah,
time I
that's
see
a
it.
good one.
Every time I see it, dude. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
have to watch that one.
If
Great
you-
flick.
So especially if you have since you have a child,
Yeah.
there's a part where just remember Superman's cape.
Superman's Cape.
Superman's cape. Dude, I damn near I lose my shit every time I see it.
Okay.
Every time. Yeah, Crash.
Crash. I'm gonna
Definitely a good flick.
Okay.
Definitely a good watch. Yeah, but
I'm gonna
Crash.
watch that.
Yeah, so before we go on, we're already out here for an hour and some change. I don't want to take more time from you and the beautiful baby and the wifey here. What words do you have for people that to either inspire them to go not only watch the series, but also just inspire them on their daily either lives or just to push for what they want to do for?
Man, you got to follow your dreams. You cannot stop regardless. You're going to have family members. You're going to have people closest to you that are going to tell you not to do things. You know, they're going to tell you that you're meant to do something else. And that's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And it breaks your heart. And if that's how you feel, and if you're out there, you need to do what your heart wants to do. And you have to work at it. It doesn't matter if it's, you have to see yourself 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ahead of yourself, because if you just think about the now, you're going to get lost in the now forever, and you don't want to be in the now. You have to work towards the 5, 10, and 15 years from now. You know, you have to think like that, because if you don't, you know, you're going to let 15 years pass by and you're going to say, dang, I should have been doing this. I should have done that. And that's not what you want to do. And if you have a family, if you have, you know, whatever, if you think, oh man, I got work, I got 2 jobs, I got this, I got that, that's, you know, put some little time, you know, even if it's for 30 minutes every day for a week, you know, you just racked up some hours, you know, working on your vision. Even if it's your next company and you think about your name, think about what your logo, what would your logo be? Even that time spending thinking about what your logo color would look like, what your font would look like, that's all time that you're putting into what you're working on. And that's useful time. You know, if you're in a lobby, you're waiting, guess what? I'm not just going to sit here. I'm going to formulate a game plan. I'm going to think about, you know, what kind of business could I start? You know, today I picked up a check from a donor because we're having this event, and I'm looking at the parking lot. There's a guy just painting lines on the parking lot, and I'm like, I'm sure he gets pretty good business from commercial works, you know, just painting lines on the parking lot, you know, like you have to think like that, you know, where am I going to get it? You know, like I'm not just a director. I'm not just a philanthropist. I'm not just this. I'm not just that. And at the end of the day, I got a family and I got this going on. Guess what? You still cannot let your dreams die, man. Don't let your dreams die.
So, Marco, the
Amen to that.
Sunland series be coming out sometime in the future. I have a feeling you're gonna go back and touch up.
Yeah,
Because
look at it all
like
over
you
again.
said, when something's your baby, it's got to be
Erase
perfect.
it all. Fuck it.
Yeah.
and it's never gonna be perfect.
We're doing it again.
No, yeah,
never gonna be
but
perfect,
I'll have
right?
something out. I really want to submit something for the Plaza Film Festival that downtown El Paso is doing.
Yeah, is that
So-
the one June 20th?
Yeah, June 20th. That's the last day to submit stuff. I'll have to keep up to date with to see what's their actual showing day, but
Yeah.
I'll submit some stuff on there, and after that, honestly, I just want to just see what happens,
Yeah.
And after that, I just want to pitch it, and just like I said, I really want to work on the next project. I got the Sleep Paralysis movie.
Yeah.
Also have a movie about time travel, that everybody loves time travel, man. I'm trying to make movies that are topics that people like,
Yeah.
So if Netflix, you're watching this, please come on, we got to work. You got plenty of scripts. You don't have to worry about people running out of ideas, original ideas, right here, right now. Hot like pancakes. Get it while it's hot.
There you go, flapjacks. Flapjacks for
hell yeah.
everybody.
Flip that shit.
So as director Marco Antonio Olvera, dude, again, I appreciate you taking the time to come out here. Sunland Series, can't wait to see it. Watch Sunland Series on the YouTube to get the trailer.
Yes, on YouTube. Yeah.
If you need anything from us, if you want some extras or whatnot, hey, we'll be down to make our movie our movie
I think,
intro or
I
whatnot.
think you guys can play some detectives or something.
We can
Yeah.
play something.
Yeah.
Some pornographic detective.
These guys.
We could play something.
Theo Cochinos.
Theo Cochinos. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, we could definitely do something, man. Anything that
He
you
likes
need.
jumping out of buildings and shit. So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm easily amused.
Maybe we make you guys bad guys or something. Then.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm my own stuntman.
You're trying to get away. You jump through a window.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
He
hard.
looked totally different.
Yeah, it's hard to find a fat stuntman. So I had to do my own shit.
No,
Yeah,
I
I'd be
appreciate you guys so
doing it.
much for coming out, man. And
Yeah.
plenty of success to you guys. And I'm definitely going to be sharing
Appreciate it.
your guys' podcast episodes from future on.
For sure.
Thank
So
you, thank you.
Sunland Series on the IG. Is there a Facebook also?
No, just IG
Just-
and YouTube.
Sunland Series on IG, Sunland Series on YouTube. Make sure you go check, follow. He's got a bunch of crazy ideas. He's got a bunch of crazy shit hopefully coming down the pipe. Make sure you support our local talent because some people that have, like I said, everybody's got a story to tell. And it sounds like the stories that you have
Very
from what you've
interesting.
lived seems to be amazing, man. So, again, make sure you follow, give him some love, share his info, share his videos with everybody. Let's get something going, again, to support the local, not only the local economy, but the local talent that we have here.
Exactly.
His name, director Marco Antonio Olvera. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for coming out.
Till
shout
next time, guys.
And
Go your shout
and
out.
shout out to the actors, man. Everybody's been amazing. I just ask for everybody, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We have so much talent.
Hell yeah. we
You
do.
go to a bigger city and you try to ask for stuff, they're going to charge you. You go to a location, they're going to charge you. But here we are flourishing with extras. We are flourishing with actors and film directors that if you reach out and you ask for somebody to show up and be there because you want them to be, guess what? They're going to show up. So shout out to you, extras and actors and everybody chasing their dreams.
Hell yeah.
All
That's the way you got to start somewhere to get somewhere. Appreciate you guys. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a dick. Deuces.